Finally, this painting from the tomb of Ramesses III, dating back to about 1200 BC, shows that the ancient Egyptians viewed themselves as blacks and painted themselves as such without confusion with the Indo-Europeans, that is the Caucasians, or the Semites. In figure A, we have the ancient Egyptians as they viewed themselves. Figure B depicts the Indo-European type. Figure C represents other black Africans, and figure D represents the Semites. Throughout their history, the ancient Egyptians never depicted themselves by types B or D. In ancient Egypt, Kemet, the Black Land, as elsewhere in Africa, women were very prominent. Their diverse roles included goddess, queen mother, and pharaoh. We have learned about the great Isis and her tradition, but there were also other black goddesses of distinction. To discuss this, we return to Danita Red Terry in studio.
Isis was the female god of war and of hunting, and she's probably the oldest known female deity of ancient Egypt. She was depicted often wearing a red crown, I should say, or with two crossed arrows and a shield on her head, signifying her characteristic as a war god. She was also considered to be a devoted mother god. Some of her depictions show her as drawn or depicted as a vulture. And one of the myths that's associated with her, she, as a vulture, pierced her thigh with her beak and drew blood from that and fed her children this blood. Hathor is another mother god, and she was depicted as often as a cow or as a woman with cow-like ears on her head. Her symbols associated with her were the sistrum, and she was often depicted with the pharaohs who saw themselves as Horus reborn, or as the god reborn, would be seen suckling from her as a cow. They would suckle from her tithers, or as a woman in her woman form, they would sit on her and suckle at her breast. And she was also a female god associated with music, with dance, with love, and with sensual pleasures of love also. And the sistrum, which I said was associated with her, was a rattle-like musical instrument. Some of the other female gods include Bast or Bastet, which was often depicted as having the head of a cat or a head of a female lion, and she was a god of war. You have Mut, who was also sometimes associated as a god of war. She was a regional god of the Thebes, Luxor area, and she was part of a trinity of Khons, which is her son, and Amun, who was a